is up, Star Wars fans? Welcome to the Star Wars Stop. So, with the addition of Ewok Hunt to Battlefront 2, it is hard for me not to wonder about other possible hunt modes that could be added to the game. But before we get into my top choices, be sure to rate, like, comment, subscribe, stay up to date on tons and tons of Star Wars content. So, getting into this. Now, I should say right at the outset, I would much rather have a Clone Wars era DLC before we get any more hunt modes. You know, some Galactic Assault maps and some new heroes and units. But if we do get Hunt DLC, these are the choices that I would have. So first and foremost, it would be awesome to get a Geonosis Hunt mode. And I'm talking Geonosians versus Clone Troopers, and it could even be versus Stormtroopers. Now, the caves of Geonosis we saw in Star Wars: The Clone Wars would make it a really scary and fun game mode. That was one of my favorite moments in all of the Clone Wars TV series, seeing that the Clone Troopers literally going through these caves with flamethrowers and being stalked and assassinated by Geonosians. It's just a really cool thing. And why I say it could even be Stormtroopers is because the Stormtroopers or the Empire use the Geonosians to build the Death Star. So it could either be Clone Troopers trying to take the planet of Geonosis, or it could be like the Geonosians are rebelling, and this could even take place on a Death Star under construction map, and the Geonosians are rebelling and they don't want to build the Death Star, and Stormtroopers have to subjugate them. Next option could be Umbara. Now, Umbarans versus Clone Troopers. Now, this is obviously something people have been asking for a lot. If you've seen the Clone Wars TV series, Umbara was one of the really cool maps we saw in that TV show, and I think it would be really epic. And another great thing about it is it's such a dark map that it was such a bloody battle in the Clone Wars TV series. The Umbarans had really advanced technology, they're a really cool species, and the clones were kind of, outmatched. So it would be a very interesting hunt mode, the Umbarans versus the Clone Troopers. Next, Naboo with Gungans versus droids. Since everybody loves Gungans and everybody's dying to see Jar Jar added to the game as a hero, why not do a mode on Naboo hunt with your Gungans and versus the droids, and the droids are trying to take over Naboo and subjugate the Gungans, and the Gungans are trying to stop them. That would be a really interesting hunt mode. Another interesting option would be Hoth. Now with the Wampas versus Rebels. I think this would be really awesome because Wampas are obviously incredibly scary and cool creatures. They're probably one of the, if not the only monster we first see in the Star Wars universe. I remember seeing episode 5 as a kid and thinking, wow, that Wampa is like literally a Yeti or a really scary abominable snowman type thing. Just a really cool creature. So be interesting to see the Rebels trying to clear out the caves of their base, Echo Base, and they run into all these Wampas. There's actually deleted scenes you can check out from The Empire Strikes Back with some really cool Wampa scenes. Next option could be Tatooine with Stormtroopers versus Tusken Raiders. As we know, the Stormtroopers were looking for the crashed ship, or escape pod if you like, of C-3PO and R2-D2. So while they're looking for that as crashed escape pod, they could run into some Tusken Raiders. That could be the reason for this encounter. So that'd be a cool hunt mode with the Tusken Raiders. As we know, they're really incredibly good sharpshooters with their rifles, so it'd be an awesome option. Next, I'd like to see, now a cool option would be Sullust. I do hope Sullust gets added in Galactic Assault at some point, but we do get to play it in the campaign, and it was in Battlefront 1's multiplayer, so that'd be an interesting option. You have the Sullustans, the Pancake Vases versus the Stormtroopers. Really interesting. They could have use their terrain to their advantage. As we know, there's a lot of lava, maybe lava waterfalls, and just the industrialness of that planet. They could set a lot of booby traps for the Stormtroopers, and it'd be really interesting. Next, this one will be very easy. Kashyyyk, we could just do Wookiees versus either Clone Troopers or Stormtroopers, or versus droids. A lot of options. The Wookiees seem to have had a tussle with literally every faction in Star Wars. So first, at the end of Revenge of the Sith, when Yoda was kind of helped by some of the Wookiees, they kind of helped him escape, the Clone Troopers started hunting the Wookiees. So this could be the reason for this battle. And another option could be Stormtroopers versus Wookiees, because the Stormtroopers also seem to not like the Wookiees too much. And obviously the droids invaded Kashyyyk during Revenge of the Sith, so that would also be a really interesting. What about the droid attack on the Wookiees? That would be a really interesting hunt mode. And finally, the most interesting one, and I know a lot of people have been asking for an Order 66 mode, but this might be a really easy way to do it. Just make it a hunt mode and have us on Coruscant in the Jedi Temple and having Jedi versus clone troopers. That could be super cool. And again, that could be stormtroopers too, but I think clone troopers would make the most sense because people have been asking for quite some time for an Order 66 game mode when you're fighting the Jedi with the clone troopers, and I think this might be an interesting way to just do it, to just make it a hunt game mode. So those are the cool ideas I came up with, guys. Let me know if you guys have any. These are kind of the ones that I got off the top of my head, just kind of interesting stuff I'd like to see. And I think one of the biggest things about the hunt game mode is not just the alien species, but making, from what I saw in Ewok Hunt, was really about like utilizing the terrain to make the game mode as fun as possible. So there were so many booby traps in the forest of Endor, and it was very dark, so it was hard to see. So the map actually adds a lot of fun to this game mode. Now, while I really enjoy Ewok Hunt, I doubt I'll be playing it like crazy, but if they add more hunt modes, yes, I definitely would play if they added some of these ones I mentioned. But that is it for this video, guys. Be sure to rate, like, comment, subscribe. Stay tuned for tons and tons of Battlefront content. Have an awesome day.